And then Alex.
Thank you very much. I don't know, Victor, I cannot come on stage after you. You set the bar very high. Thank you very much. Well, thank you for all the speakers. Thank you for coming here. Welcome to Sharp Grind. The level is very high tonight. Oh, wow, what the fuck? This is freaking full. That's good. First of all, who's the first time coming to Sharp Grind Barcelona? Raise your hands. Wow, impressive. Welcome. You will not know it, but this is our hashtag. You can use our hashtag for, sharing jobs, asking for help, communicating with us. Just feel free. We monitor these ourselves, and we'll be happy to help you because Carlos has mentioned it before. He has spoiled this thing. I was going to talk about the value, so thank you, Carlos. But let's go for it. First of all, I want to thank our sponsors and partners because without them, there's no Sharp Grind, right? No event happens without the support of these very dedicated and committed companies that have believed in us for the long term. Most of them, they've been with us from the very beginning. First of all, a big, huge round of applause for Estrella Damm for hosting us tonight, because they always host us in the anniversary event. Thank you very much. It's always here. The anniversary event is always here, getting bigger and bigger. First year we had 100 people, second year 200, 300 last year. It looks like we're having 400 people tonight. This is fucking fantastic. Thank you very much for coming. And we also have got a couple of really special sponsors tonight who I want to thank because they also been coming for the long term, right? Ikula, it's been 6 months already that they have been sponsoring us. And you talk to them, you talk to Jaume, I don't know where you are right now, I think standing there, shy guy, he's into tech, he's the shy guy. Go talk to him. If possible, not the 400 at the same time, try to spread out. But if you need some dedicated servers and hosting and GPU-based servers, especially for mining cryptocurrencies, because I know all of you are mining cryptocurrency in 2018 right now, but you go talk to him. Big round of applause for Ikula. Thank you very much. Gonna go very fast. Sorry about this. Sorry about being so fast-paced, but we're a little bit behind time. And also thank you very much to Page Personal because they have been helping us since the very beginning. Marc is a great friend of mine. Raise your hand, Marc. Where are you? He's not here. He's outside. He's not such a good friend, but yeah, he's a great person. Just kidding. Page Personal have been helping us, sending super interesting speakers. And as a matter of fact, I think a big number of speakers like Nacho González Barros have, or I think also David came through Page Personal, and they have committed to sponsoring us for 1 year. And from the very beginning, they have been coming to our events and checking the community of that. They said, whenever we find the spot to sponsor you some budget, we're going to do it. So if you're looking for, if you're looking for a job, you're looking to help somebody who's your friend, is looking for the next step in their career, just take their contact, have them talk to Page Personal because they are fantastic people. They helped me when I was a developer in the past. So they're great people. Don't be scared of them. They don't bite. So go talk to our sponsors. Hug them if they smell good. And please give them a really big warm round of applause. And obviously also thanks to the rest of partners and collaborators, Marspace, Ironhack, Storia Sofia, EG in Barcelona, Tech City, Space, O'Reilly, Last Moons, because the combination of all of them is what makes this event possible after 4 years. Let me talk a little bit before we go into the panel. I know you guys want to listen to them, not to me, but this is our event, this is our rules, so you got to put up with it. It's going to be very, very, very short. It's been 4 years. We started 4 years ago. And there are a lot of things that we have learned so far. It's not been easy. You don't find any community. I mean, most of the communities we were sort of competing with, but we don't compete with communities because we don't believe in competition, in communities. Communities is not a zero-sum game. It's 1 + 1, it's not 2, it's 1 + 1 makes 10, something like that. Because we have been united, we have been coordinating with other communities, and we have been given access to bigger speakers and have bigger events and all of that. So we're really thankful for having been able to collaborate with a lot of them. And these are a few things that we have learned. If this will work, let me see. Yes, first of all, there's a lot of new people in the room. I'm not going to go into the corporate talk of what the fuck is Sharp Grind. It's very important that you know it because Sharp Grind goes beyond being a community, right? Yeah, sorry about this. What happened? Can we fix this? I'm gonna fix this. I'm the tech guy. It kind of like broke. Yeah, all right. Let's see. Again. All right, now it's working. You know, Apple, they sell Macs at $3,000 each, and they tell you they work. Yeah. They're not my sponsors, so screw them. Anyways, Startup Grind is the global community, it's the biggest global community of entrepreneurs in the world, right? We are in 365 cities, 200 different countries. It's kind of like Starbucks or TED. You know, there's one in every city, and you go to that because that's the standard. There's like, I don't really like Starbucks, but I'm in Egypt. I'm like, I'm gonna go for this coffee, right? I know what it is at least. I'm gonna be playing safe. So Startup Grind started in 2010. If my presentation would work, it worked before, but seems like it's breaking. I had a very nice picture of this bald guy. I'm not making jokes of bald people. They're great. But seems like it will not allow me. All right. Let's see if it works from here. All right, now. Great. So this is Derek. As I said, Startup Grind is not only community, it's people, right? It's people like Derek. He started this 2010 in Palo Alto. He got a bunch of his friends and got them in a meeting room and said like, hey, I'm starting this startup. Why don't we share our lessons learned? Why don't we just have some beer? Well, he doesn't drink. He's a Mormon. I mean, he's great. I mean, he needed to have one defect. That's that one. But he's, outside of that, he's a really cool guy. You have met him in the conference in Barcelona in October. So the thing is, 10 people showed up. And then he said, like, oh, I'm going to do this again. And like 15 people showed up. And the third event said, like, wow, I'm going to have like 20 people. And so he organized a meetup to go watch The Social Network. Are you familiar with that film? The one with Mark Zuckerberg, the one that anticipated the kind of evil person Mark Zuckerberg was to become? Yeah. So can you guess how many people showed up for that meetup? 2 people. It was one of them was Derek. The other one was his co-founder. So that was complete success. If he had given up in that very event, if he had said like, fuck it, I'm not going to do it, I'm quitting, I'm going to go for something else, we would not be here. So one of the biggest learnings in Startup Grind is he didn't give up and he said like, you know, I'm going to give it another chance. And in the next event, he came across like a really cool speaker. And, you know, some people showed up, and the wheels started turning again. So it eventually became the monster that we've got right now. So Derek is Startup Grind. But also, I think this has run out of batteries. That's why it's not working. So sorry, Steve. Mac is working well. And it's this thing. Carly is our VP of Marketing, our CMO in Startup Grind. She's also, you know, she's also Startup Grind because beyond helping, yeah, you want to change this? Yeah, thank you. Now we went back, fantastic. I'm gonna do it. So Carly joined 2013, sorry. So she has been doing all the amazing sponsorships and partnerships we've had with Comcast, with O'Reilly, with AC Hotels, Google for Entrepreneurs, Microsoft, this and that, right? Without Carly, we wouldn't have had any conference. We do have conferences in London. We do have one in Barcelona as well. London is the third edition we're having in June. We had 6 editions in Silicon Valley conference for 7K people, right? It's not easy, I tell you. So Carly is Startup Grind as well. Daniel, chapter director in Glasgow, he's also Startup Grind, one of the most positive persons you can ever come across. There's Betty, who runs a chapter in Nairobi in Kenya. I'm pretty sure Nairobi is in Kenya, but correct me otherwise. I'm that kind of person. But she was the regional director in Africa. Single-handedly, she created about 25 chapters in different countries across Africa. Isn't that amazing? Klaus, and it's not about only chapter directors in Startup Grind, right? Klaus was the first speaker ever in Cyprus. Yes, in Cyprus we had Startup Grind. Thanks to Cyprus, I do have the email alex@startupgrind.com, but that's not the question. He went to live to Madrid and said like, wow, I really enjoyed my event in Cyprus, but there's no Startup Grind in Madrid. Can I create a chapter? And I'm like, yeah. Take it. And so he was with us for 2 years, right? And then he has sponsored events with his company in other countries. So he's also part of Startup Grind, also trying to help every time. Christine Soufran emigrated from Haiti when she was little. She's now in Dubai, running one of the most powerful chapters around the globe. And she's now Forbes 30 under 30 because she has created this amazing platform for marketplaces in the Caribbean for really small vendors to sell online. She's really influential, kick-ass female speaker. She's also part of Startup Grind. He's Irish. I can tell you the second pint was also his. He was not sharing. David Scanlon was the first sponsor of the Startup Grind conference, of the first edition of Startup Grind conference when he worked for the government of Ireland. He went on to take the chapter of Dublin, so he's now running it for 3 years right now. He won this, we've got this award, Startup Grind. He won the best dressed man. He's always dressed so sharp, it's not even funny. But also we've got people in Barcelona, right? And this is Carlos, but I could be talking about Carlos, I could be talking about Megan or Vego or Paul or Marc or everybody that's in our team in Barcelona. They are also Startup Grind. If you run into them, or Victor, who has been kicking ass on stage, if you run into them, they're always willing to help. They share our values, right? Okay, let's see. You see, he's helping me now. Thank you very much, Carlos. Our team is here to help. Feel free to reach out to them, and we'll be happy to help you if we can. Yes, it works. Alex is also part of Startup Grind. He's also Startup Grind. You know this guy, some of you, how many of you were in the first 5 events? Raise your hands. Not so many. Well, you were the speaker, Marc. Yeah, of course you were there. So Alex also kind of like co-founded this with Carlos and I and introduced us to really cool people in the Ayuntamiento de Barcelona, like Xavi Dumont, who's sitting there, Barcelona Activa, or really cool speakers. As a matter of fact, Marc, of our first event, he was introduced by Alex. Who else? A lot of them just like popped up like this. I'm gonna cut it short because we're running out of time. But basically, there was Costanza from Madrid because we like people from Madrid. I mean, don't have hate towards them. They're all right. They don't eat babies for breakfast. There's also Alex, who is here somewhere, who's been coming for like 20-something events. He's also Startup Grind, right? He shares the values. It's like trying to help all the time. That's what I wanted to point out. It's not about the people in the community that we are, somehow working for Startup Grind. It's also you. So if you're helping people, you're making friends before, so if you're helping before helping yourself, you're giving before taking, then this is also Startup Grind, so you can be also Startup Grind. This guy, also the big guy, ex-basketball player, Fran Martinez, we open a chapter in Andorra right now. He has won every title and award in Spain and internationally as a basketball player. He now has opened a chapter in Andorra. How amazing this is. And speakers like Cecilia and all of them, I think pretty much this is one of my favorite pictures ever of speakers on stage. I'm going to be talking about this a little bit later. And this guy is Gabri. He's not here. He's getting married tomorrow. I wanted to send some special vibes to him. He's getting married. I mean, this guy, just for clarification. Out of the first 30 events, he came to 29, and then he decided to come, he decided to move to Australia, which was kind of far away for commuting. The commute was pretty brutal, so he decided to start going to the events down there. But, he's back in Barcelona, safe and well and all of that. He's getting married tomorrow. We know how this works. But, all right, let's see if we can move to the next picture. There's a lot of pictures. That's why this is behaving poorly. Carlos talked about the values. So, the event started like this, right? This is a picture of our second event. I always try to have pictures of the speakers smiling because it happens in every goddamn event. We haven't had any event in 51 editions where the speakers don't have fun on stage. And this is our fourth value. Because in Startup Grind, we believe in these values over here. Give first, make friends, help others before helping yourself. But in Barcelona, we've got a special one. We like rock and roll, and we like having fun on stage. So that's why we always have got these special questions and these people like Victor kicking ass on stage and stealing my thunder. Thank you, Victor. And so what I wanted to point out is, look at this. It started like that. In this event, we had like 30 people roughly. This is our very, very, very first event. Me covering the projected material on the screen behind. That was not even a screen. We started in Ingrid. That was, I think it's April 29th, 2014, right? The mention I'm bringing this, I could be talking about each and every speaker. I'm not going to do that because I know you're waiting for the panel. But I could have a picture of every goddamn interview we've had, and you could have the speaker smiling. How many events can say that? And moreover, we have gone farther. This is where we are now. Now we have a room, like a full room here, full house. So I want you to give yourselves a really big round of applause for being here tonight. Please, give it up. We do these kind of events. We do other special events. We did a summer party in August. We did a conference for 700 people in October, 10 speakers from Silicon Valley. I don't know if Howard has arrived tonight. Howard should be around here. He's a serial investor and entrepreneur from Silicon Valley. And that's who we are. You are Startup Grind. We are Startup Grind. Let's spread this kind of message, these values, so whenever you're being approached to be helped, or you find somebody greedy, just try to change their perception of reality, because in the panel was brought up a couple of times, and I think Elena pointed out really well, is give back to the community, help others, because alone, you're not going to do it. If you want to go fast, you should go alone, as the African proverb says, but if you want to go really far, you should go with somebody, right? So Carlos will come right now on stage very, very briefly to announce the answers to this. Yes, because I don't know the answers, so you've got the answers. You've got the answers.
Okay.
All right.
So very quickly, so the question about the values, easy one. So they are give first, help others, and make friends. Okay, I got it right. The second one about who was a speaker on our monthly event, it was Casey Fenton. He was a speaker at our conference. About the moons, how many? I think that Uriol ate half of them, but we ate a total of 7,200 moons. Yeah. Wow. Our first event was held at ITNIC. We've had about 6,000 attendees in these 50 events. The team member that is known as is Marc, Hot Marc.
Not here. I know some of you paid for that, yeah. But not here.
Then the one about the story, the anecdote that wasn't true, was the one about having the speaker at the wrong venue. All the others were right. I actually caught up a few guys getting 2 or 3 beers in their pockets before leaving
some speakers
the event.
As well, Carlos? No? Some speakers as well?
Yeah. I think that maybe some speakers can share a story about the language.
All right. Great.
And then the guy about Pablo, about the whistling superpower was Pablo Villalba, and the one about Alex swearing on stage is scientists are still trying to figure it out. Okay?
Shut the fuck up, Carlos. Thank you very much.
So the winners of these are like Guy Samuel and Benoit Gilos. Okay, will reach you by email and give you the information for your ticket. Okay, congratulations.
Congratulations. All right. I don't know if there's more slides. Oh, yeah. There are some more slides. So, as I said, our mission is to help every entrepreneur in the world, right? So that's why we're having chapters all across the globe, and that's why we're doing these events here. I want to have 2 of you really, if we have helped you, how have we helped you? Can you, a couple of you just stand up and shout, how have we helped you? Is there anyone that wants to stand up and say like, hey, Startup Grind helped me like this? Don't be shy. Don't be shy. We haven't helped anybody. I know it's not a great event. Victor over there, yeah, you're part of it. Yeah, come on. How have you helped you?
But you invited me to participate in the London conference, and as a result of that, I got access to some of the premier angel investors and family offices who've been calling me ever since. So thank you very much.
Great. That's a good one. So Howard's not here. Well, I mean, it's very good also. I'm just going to be jumping on that one because Vincent mentioned that. I had completely forgotten about that, but I introduced him to his co-founder on a Startup Grind event, so that was really cool. We have helped companies to get on accelerators. We have helped companies to find the mentors, raise funds, this and that. So I know you guys are very shy, or probably the ones we helped, they are fucking rich now. That's why they didn't come, but that's why they didn't stand up. So first of all, I wanted to thank every one of you, and let's go with the panel right now. Big applause right now, because we're going to be calling up the speakers. All right. Not hearing for Dick. So, if we can have the music, I'm going to be introducing the speakers. There's a last-minute cancellation. We wanted to have 4 people in the panel. Mara Larcon just messaged us. She had a personal problem. She will not be coming tonight. I hope she's safe. Send all the positive vibes. And so we're going to be having, please, the music. All right. Pere Vallès from Saito. There's Ingrid Verschuren from Dow Jones. Marc Vicente. Please come on stage. and give them, stand up, give them the biggest rock star applause. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much for coming to our meeting now. So it's a pity, it's a real shame that Marc couldn't come, because not only would have had an amazing kick-ass speaker on stage as well, but we would have had, and that was not intentional, to have somebody from the first year, second year, third year, fourth year start crying. I'm going to start with the first one of them, because this one's very special. Marc Vicente was the first entrepreneur, first businessman to join the community as speaker. He was the first speaker 4 years ago. And in a way, you were the first investor. Marc, can you tell us what are you up to now, and what have you learned in these 4 years that you have been away, or these years that you've been in France?
Sure. First of all, does it work?
Does it work? Oh, no.
Works or not?
Switch it on.
Now.
Good.
So first of all, I took one beer from the place, sorry.
Yeah, first you took one beer. That's great.
I did. And actually, you helped me a lot, because on that event, I met one entrepreneur who ended up working with me for the next 6 years.
Luis Floyd.
Yes, that's it. And I left him in France. Hopefully, I'm going to get him back very, very
you were
soon.
Not very
that was very
him, right?
useful for me anyway. So thank you. So, well, I'm very excited to be here. I just landed back 1 month ago to Barcelona. On the last years, I was living and working in different places: France, Germany, working for Rakuten, cdiscount.com, and right now. I'm very excited that I'm working for one of the best edtech companies in the world, which is ABBA English. ABBA English is one of the leading English digital academies, and what we do, it's pretty much, we teach English, and we do it quite well, I think. And the other reason I'm very excited, actually, is because I can see that it's not only that you have growth, but I see that you do good for the society and for the community in Barcelona. So thank you very much for that, and congratulations to you specifically and all the team at the Startup Grind.
Thank you very much. I was kind of scared of inviting him to talk. Thank you. Big applause, by the way. But thanks. That's very meaningful. I was afraid of inviting you, because the first time I invited you, you said, "Oh, every time somebody gives me a mic, I start to sing." I said, like, he didn't sing that time.
I still do it.
You still do it. Well, maybe you can, delight us afterwards.
Give me a minute.
Got a question for Ingrid, who was our speaker 2 months ago, actually. Ingrid, welcome on stage again. I know you're surprised by having so many people in front of you. Hope the pressure doesn't affect you. I wanted to ask, what's the biggest fuck up you've done in the last 4 years?
I can actually talk about one that I think is relevant to most of you here, especially if we talk about developing new products. So a couple of years ago, might actually be a little bit more than 4 years ago, I was in charge of one specific research team, and I basically did everything for that team. That included developing the editorial application, so the tool that we were using to actually creating the data, maintaining the data. We were doing that with a partner in India. We had a very old tool, so we had this really big project going on to renew the tool. We came to the very end. We came to UAT testing. This was before Agile, right? So this was all waterfall. We came to the very end, UAT testing. We had 800 bugs, right? And we're like, doesn't sound great, but let's get through it. On the last day of UAT, we actually found out that one of our basic requirements was not met. And I actually decided to cancel the entire project, not go live, start from scratch again.
That's a good one. The next question, we're talking about fuck-ups, right? So when you fuck up, and the fuck-up's very big, I actually wanted to ask Pere, that's a really tricky question for you. I know you like running numbers and all of that. Pere, what's the most expensive fuck-up you've ever done in the last 4 years? In Cycle, or even as an investor yourself?
Well, after Ingrid's question, I felt lucky that I was not going to get that question, and now somehow you twisted in a way that
unexpected twist plot.
It's even worse. Actually, it was, I mean, it's public news, so I think I can disclose that. It was a big fuck up in a project that we sold in Congo, where basically it was a $30 million project, and we collected 2 million only.
Ouch.
And it was because basically the president of the country, which is President Kabila, has been in power for 2 terms already. He cannot run again in new elections, and he's not convening the new election. And he's been like this for the last 2 years. So until there is no actually an election, we're not going to be able to collect.
That's a pretty expensive one.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Normally we do this kind of question, you come to our events, we do the regular questions. Sometimes we don't want to, put some salt in the wounds because the people from the PR team are going to review the video and all of that. But tonight, fuck it. Let's going to ask the hard question. So, hard question for you as well, Marc. Compare the startup ecosystems from Barcelona and France, maybe in Paris. I know this is a hard question. We're not going to like the answer, but what do you think about them?
Compare what? I didn't understand.
The startup ecosystems in Barcelona and France, a city of your choice, maybe Paris, if you will.
Well, I will put you an example comparing France, maybe Germany, and of course Barcelona. What I saw in Germany is that people is less afraid of, there's more money. People get more serious. You got all the rocket internet companies. When they're going to go for it, they go serious, they go fast, and they go big. They also fail big, but they turn very successful companies very fast. The other thing I've seen on this kind of rocket internet companies is that when I start a company, the first team they hire is a really top team. They take people from top companies, top business schools, and they make sure that top down it actually works very well. And that helps younger people to learn and to make things right. In France, in France is a slightly different. I would say that I would say in general, I don't feel it so much as in terms of a starter, like entrepreneur spirit. I think the ecosystem in terms is bigger in terms of money, but less in terms of atmosphere. I didn't feel it at all so much in France.
Ingrid, question for you. I mean, I wanted to have different people representing here. So Marc was representing social entrepreneurship. Marc is now an entrepreneur, but used to work in lots of corporates like Last Minute, AVG, and Rakuten, and Spanair, and all of that, and Akamon, if I remember correctly. So you represent the corporates tonight, which are our great friends at Startup Grind. No, just kidding. You guys collect a lot of data, a lot of numbers at Dow Jones, because that's what you taught us in two events ago, right? What have you seen that has changed in terms of trends in the startup ecosystem in Barcelona?
It's a really hard question, right? Because
it's always hard. Yeah.
I do represent the corporate world, so we have had very little interaction, I think, with the startup world. So I'm trying to think what I can say other than what I think in the previous panel. One of the questions that was being asked is why any of the speakers wanted to come back. And I think the answer in my case would be that actually the reason why I would like to come back, I think it's extremely important that there is this interaction between startup and corporates. I think corporates can learn a lot from startups. And I actually think what Startup Grind has given me, and then the rest of the company as well, is actually giving us that platform for the interaction.
And although everybody is very elegant tonight here, I can tell you're an investor. So what would you have us invest, or what should we be looking into in the next years? Let's talk a little bit about the future right now. What are you betting for, and what would you place your money in?
Well, I bet on teams. Actually, before you had in the panel Vincent, and I met his partner Benoit at this event when I came as a panelist, and they were trying to do something with blockchain. At the time, it was not very well defined, and honestly, I couldn't really understand what they were doing. But when I saw Benoit and Vincent and the team together, I thought these guys are going to be able first to raise money and secondly to come up with with a solution that is going to have a real market fit, you know. So I would say that I wouldn't look for specific trends, specific technologies. My focus is mainly on the teams.
Perfect. Let's go on more like quicker answers, and we're going to start with this one. If you could place, Mark, if you could place a billboard in the middle of the city for everybody to see, what would you write on it? No, fuck is not an answer, it's taken by me.
Yeah, that's the what the fuck question, right?
Yeah, that's
probably I would say work hard and shit fire. That's pretty much what normally
so
works.
Like eat Mexican food?
Yeah, kind of it.
What does that mean? Sorry.
Well, that's a good point. The thing is that when we discuss across multiple teams in multiple companies, you always think about what you always discuss about what makes people, companies successful, and you know there is no one magic formula, but there is one thing that it kind of pretty much always works for me, which is working really, really, really hard. And people talk a lot about the balance. To be honest, fuck the balance. I don't think balance works at some point of your life.
Ingrid, another hard question, and you know where this is going to be. What's the best thing you've bought in your life that costed less than 100 euros? It's a hard one, I know. You always say that at the beginning of the answers.
That's a really hard one.
Yeah, oh, that's a really hard one. I'm improving my game.
I mean, it's not necessarily, I actually think it has to be glasses, spectacles, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to see.
That's pretty useful. Pere, a tricky question as well. You know, I'm always here for the hard questions. If you were to start a startup tomorrow, like let's say everything you've got, you know, goes downhill. Hope that doesn't happen. But seriously, hope that doesn't happen. So, if you were to start another company, who would you co-found it with? Who would be your ideal co-founder? You could pick anyone you want.
You mean a name of a person?
Yeah, a name, yeah.
I don't know if I want to do that. How do you come up with this question? I was shocked by the question you asked, Ingrid. My answer was going to be an engagement ring.
What was that?
The one about the present of less than 100.
You can answer that one if you want.
No, I don't know. Honestly, I wouldn't give a name. You know, I don't know. I know a lot of people. You know, through my career, I've met with a lot of very bright people and people I felt very comfortable working with. And I have to say, I would probably look for somebody that is very different from me. You know, somebody who I think can complement me well.
Perfect. That's a good answer. Marc, talking about the future again. I mean, what are you going to be doing to support the startup ecosystem in Barcelona in the next years now that you're back?
Well, first of all, you can always count on me whenever you need me. I think that somehow, if I think how Startup Grind could continue contributing, is everything about innovation. Innovating is something everyone talks about. You need to put it into all the processes of the organization. But at the end of the day, when you run very fast and you are always after budgets and stuff like that. It's hard that regular companies can have room for it. I think organizations like yours, if it can help inspiring people on how innovation can get introduced to regular companies, that will be very useful, and hopefully I can help you on that.
Great, thank you very much.
By the way, I need to say it. If I had to entrepreneur now, I have a target here. I would like to do it with Jordi.
Who's that guy? Who let him in?
Yes. Jordi from a former Wacky, we used to work together at Rakuten. And he's a fantastic CTO, and I have no fucking clue about technology, so I would like a lot to partner with him.
He's taken, though. Very expensive as well, right? Very expensive? Very, very cheap. Well, they could actually hire you right now, because you're not worth a lot of money. Yeah, right. Ingrid, what is something you believe that most people get wrong in life? She said, no, I don't need preparation for the questions. Throw anything at me.
I'm paying for that, obviously. I think it is that people expect things to come easy and that you don't have to work hard for it, right? But I think that, especially all the entrepreneurs here, but no matter where you are, you have to work hard. And if you don't do that, you won't get what you want, you won't be happy. It is up to you, but you have to put the effort in.
Great. And next question for Pere. I think we're going to be going into the last round. You're going into a next venture. I know you're already tired. It's late. We want to eat. We want to drink. We want to get out of this room and start talking to people.
It's just the questions that are.
It's just the questions. Yeah. It's just the questions. I wanted to ask, Pere, you as an investor, you're starting a new stage in your career. You're stepping down as CEO of Cytel. Where are you moving into right now? Maybe you can share.
Actually,
it's not a hard question.
But I cannot disclose it, actually.
Cannot be disclosed?
No, I can.
All right.
But it's going to be very soon. It's going to be announced.
You can announce it on stage, even if
No.
we censor it out? Like,
After-
beep!
After 14 very long years at Cytel, I become chairman. So now my responsibility is more institutional, strategy, and investors. And this gives me the opportunity to lead a new project. I'm also an investor, as you mentioned, at a fund called Smart Tech Capital. So if any of you has a startup that already has an MVP and is generating some revenues, I would be very interested in hearing your story. And now I'm basically joining a very new and very exciting project that is going to be announced very, very soon.
Great. Marc, last question for you. Remember our first event? You remember very, very well? We asked you about Microsoft Excel. We asked you about your favorite app or something like that, something you couldn't live without. And because you gave a master class about how to rock and roll Microsoft Excel, we started asking for like a year and a half every entrepreneur that would come on stage something about Microsoft Excel. Marc literally said, I do everything on Excel. If I could do my PowerPoint presentations on Excel, I would fucking do it. So, are you still that kind of person, Marc? Have you moved out of Excel? Is there life outside of Microsoft Excel?
I just realized that today I'm going to be very sad because I'm not like this anymore. I still use Excel, but way less than I used before. And I didn't realize until that point that you asked me, but it's true. I used to pee with Excel and not that much.
Too much information, Marc.
Yeah.
But we're talking about sheet and pee on stage. We're reaching levels of unprecedented. No. So, you're not the kind of person. What do you use now? You don't work.
Well, I asked for the people in the office, and so I get an excuse to talk to them, and that actually works quite well.
Perfect. Flashback to your event, Ingrid. You mentioned that you tend to, your useless superpower. We always talk about useless superpowers, right? And hers was pretty amazing. She said, I am really convinced about the times of my flights, and I always find out that my flight was yesterday. So, in the last 2 months, since our event, have you lost any other flight?
I have two, actually. I booked a hotel for our Easter holiday, and we went the week before Semana Santa, and literally 2 weeks before, I got a reminder in one of my apps saying, you're ready to check in your hotel, and I'm thinking, no, I'm going next week. Wrong date booked, but I was convinced I had, and I did the same with the flight as well.
Did your children make fun of you because of that? Like you shared in the event?
The flight I managed to hide the hotel, yeah, they did.
All right, last one, Pere, and you get the hardest one. Sorry. In our event, March 2016, you said, don't learn anything from me. I'm the worst boss ever. You said something like, I drink a lot, I smoke, I eat a lot, I get angry very easily. Are you still like that? And how many people have quit the company since then?
No, actually, there was a video, no, of that.
Yeah.
I was joking, and
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
we were drinking beer, no? At
Yeah,
the
we had
stage,
one or two, yeah.
And that video went viral, within Cytel. And it was
Really?
with investors, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, really. So what was the question then?
So if you're still like that, and how many people have quit the company because of you?
What I said is, no, because now I have a theory that the people are crazy about the sports and they run marathons and they do these type of crazy things. And I think my theory is that it's not healthy to practice sports. So it's, I don't have a lot of supporters in my theory because the people that do that, they all have had surgeries and they all have knee problems or, and I don't do anything. I don't practice anything, and I've not been sick in the last 30 years.
You're very healthy. Yeah, you look very fine. All right, that's a very good message.
That's the point.
Cool. There's a lot of non-healthy people in the audience, as you can tell. And probably they want to work for you as well. So if you're recruiting, just feel free to meet them. We're going to be wrapping this up with really quick question. What can we do at StartGrind to help you, Marc? All these people in the room, our CEO, he's kind of like
Well, now that
easy.
you mention, and we are hiring.
Yeah.
and I will be very happy to talk with anyone which is interested on a specific job, specifically in IT positions. If you can help me with that, that would be fantastic.
Great. Ingrid, how may we help you from Startup Grind? You answered these 2 months ago. Feel free to change it. Come up with something new. Just lie.
Yeah, I think, no. There's actually one thing. There's two things. Can I ask for two things?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah? One is just keep inviting us back to these events. We will come back because, as I said earlier, we will continue learning from you guys, right? So that is the one thing. The second thing is we are so desperately looking for data scientists.
Any data scientists in the room? Raise your hands. They're probably busy working. There's one over there. Yeah, it's Paul from our team. Yeah. He's working for Intermon, so you know, pretty good place. I don't know if you can pay his salary, but willing to introduce you if you wanted. Pere, how may we help you when we wrap this up?
Well, I think I already said it. You know, if there are any investment opportunities, I would be very interested. But I think more than for me, I think for all of us, continue doing what you're doing. You know, I think Elena Torras before said that you help build a community, and I think it's important for the Barcelona ecosystem that more of these events happen and that people have the opportunity to meet and know about each other. So, congrats.
Thank you very much. Well, we'll be wrapping this up. Please, standing ovation for these brilliant people.